earth we come, we share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian, we are one.
I can't highly recommend it. You've really got to come over and visit and share time together. You know, like I'm doing with my daughter, you've got to do with your brother.
Definitely. And congratulations for an each.
And they're starting to become entrepreneurial though.
Where did you get that from?
My father, waking me up at 5:30 when I was a young kid, making me walk with him, forcing me to... I enjoyed it though, I did enjoy it.
We're up at HMV, where John Casimadis works. We've just had a visit, and it's huge in there. So have a look.
Oh my god.
How you going, John?
Oh my god.
What world you living in, huh? Sunday afternoon, what time is it?
I said, as soon as they said it's a guy, grey hair, camera, I knew it was... Oh my god. How you going? I'm good.
How's it been here?
Sorry?
How's it been here?
It's excellent, yeah. What do you think?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah?
Still out of your mum and dad?
Hi mum, hi dad. I'm not missing you, unfortunately. So how's it going? Good?
Yeah, well.
I was here. What's this? My buddy's ranch. What, do you want me to stock these at HMV, do you? What is this?
So you've been working?
Yeah.
This is your clothes.
Oh yeah, very casual, very casual.
Uniform, is it?
Very relaxed, yeah. I was hoping you wouldn't have that thing today because it looks shocking.
Yeah, you should know better, shouldn't you?
Sorry?
So where are we going?
Just behind here. A little, nice little square just behind here. St. Crispin's, yeah, square. Little secret.
So we'll have lunch with your mum and dad?
Sorry?
We'll have lunch with your mum and dad?
Why do you say that? Sorry?
When they come to see themselves.
I'm not sure if I'm very...
This is about the closest thing we've got to Greenwood Place. We'll try here.
Sounds good.
Okay. Difference between here and Canberra, well, for one, the population. You got the same amount of people that live in Australia live in London, so it's a lot. It's a big place. But I think because there's so many working travellers here, it's like everyone comes here to achieve something. They don't come here just to muck around. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do have our fun and we do our little trips on the side to Greek islands, all that sort of stuff, but I don't know, I just think because people, you can't move to London and muck about because one, it's really expensive to live here, so you got to sort of get down and do work to get by. But everyone knows it's like you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. It's a standard thing. It's like why people go from Canberra to Sydney. It's like, oh, I'm sick of the small town thing, I'm going to Sydney. And a lot of them come back and say, oh, Canberra's a dump, I hate it. You know, everyone that lives here is an idiot because it's so small, and they don't have high goals, and they're just, you know, just want the quiet family life. You know, that's good if you want that. But I don't like people who go back and say that to Canberra. Like I went back to Canberra in March, you know, and I saw people sitting down having their cafe and relaxing, and I was jealous. I missed it, you know. So I hope one day I can go back to Canberra and live there, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone, you know, next year. So I just can't say, but I don't know. I like when I came back in March is probably the best holiday I've had because, you know, it's like going home, catch up with the friends, the family. You know, people like freak out they haven't seen you and that you've been living in London, and they're saying, oh, you know, you're John, wow, you've gone to London, and I'm just like, you can do it too. Nothing's stopping you from doing it, you know. I didn't have no amazing degree behind me to come over here and get a nice big fat paycheck job. You know, I came over here and started working for a record store, you know what I mean? Would I have done that in Canberra? No, never. You know, did I know I was going to do it here? No. I just think everyone's got to just get out there and travel and see what is out there, and then I think your unanswered questions are answered, you know.
Canberra help you with that in that regard?
Oh yeah, you really appreciate just. But I think most Greeks, because they live with their parents for so long, they just get used to it and take it for granted. And then you come over here and it's like, oh my God, I'm paying $200 Australian a week rent and the bills, and once everything starts amounting. Okay, it happens if you move out of home even in Canberra, but over here it's a lot higher, right? So you really do appreciate the small town sort of lifestyle, the laid back, because when you come to a fast place like London, then you really do appreciate, what people have in Canberra,
So what has that given you in a fast place like this?
What's it given me? I don't know, I just think if you're from a big city and go to another big city, then you're always going to be saying, oh, maybe Sydney, for example, Sydney's better than here. Sydney's got this, Sydney's got that. But when you compare London to Canberra, then Canberra doesn't really compare for anything, really. London's got better of everything, but the only thing Canberra does have better is the quiet life. You can't find that here unless you travel out to the hills. And
so what's the quiet life?
What's the quiet life? Driving around Canberra after 10 o'clock at night and no one being around. Not being able to get a coffee after 11 o'clock at night anywhere.
That's one side of it. But what's associated with that quiet life?
Oh, family.
And what's that about?
Family, being with your family. When I went back for the weddings, for example, Maria's wedding, I was just like, it's like a big reunion, because we haven't had those family reunions for years and years, and just being with my family, I was just like, I don't know, I was just absolutely freaking out. It's almost like as corny as it sounds, being reborn or something. It was just good to, I was like hugging everybody, and tears were coming out of my eye constantly, It's just because I knew I was coming back here and I was going to miss that. But I would just look forward to going back again, Now I'm hearing George is probably going to get engaged and probably married within, the next year. So I'll look forward to that, going back and meeting up with the family again, and that's what it's all about. But at the same time, I miss, and I'm sure my parents do, miss, growing up with me. But I think my parents, we've grown up enough together, haven't I? So I'm an adult now. So, sometimes I feel guilty that I'm not there to help out Dad at the shop and all that sort of stuff. But we have to move on. You know what I mean? I was never going to work in the milk bar for the rest of my life, for example, but I still feel guilty. Yes. Oh, one, because most people that live here are far away from their family. Most people that come to a town like London, like I said before, come here because they've got high goals and they want to get somewhere. And, I'd say 9 out of 10 people that I meet here are from somewhere else. Not necessarily another country, but they're from up north or down south or whatever. And and they're all far from their family, so I don't know, I think there's a sense of loneliness here, you could say. I mean, I feel lonely a lot of the time, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for the boys being here with me, it's like when they went away for one weekend, I was by myself for a weekend, I was just like sitting at home, I was bored. And what I did, I just called home. That's all I could do, so it's not like we have a lot of friends here, but nothing compared to back home, because they're like lifelong friends, So there's a value in that. I mean, lifelong friends, you can't replace them. You just can't meet someone who say, hi, my name's John, you want to hang out with me, sort of thing. And it's like, fair enough, you can become really good friends, but you don't have the history. You can't sort of say, oh, I remember this or remember that. Maybe in 5 years' time, if I'm still here, then the friends I've made here will be like that, but, for example, me and Spiro could talk about, when we were in Greece 2 years ago in summer, or when we were back in Canberra, or it's like that reminiscing part. That's the value part of it for me. It's like you don't have that here. When it's Mother's Day, where's Mum? When it's Father's Day, where's Dad? So it's like you do miss it. You get very lonely. So I don't think you wouldn't be human if you weren't lonely. So
what about the Greek part?
To be honest, we haven't even tried to get involved with the Greek community over here. We went to. I've been shocking over here in terms of going to church and stuff like that. I've been to church once.
Which church?
It was one in Notting Hill. I can't remember. Apparently, it's a quite famous one. It's very small. So anyway, I went there on Easter with Harry Nataris and Nectar and all the guys because Spiro had gone to Greece. it's one thing I keep missing out. I want to do it next year, definitely, is go to Greece for Easter, because I want to do the full-on traditional Greek Easter thing. And Spro's done it twice now, and I haven't been able to do it because of work. So I'll look forward to that next year, but he's just said it's amazing. But here it was like, all we did was just had a dinner at Harry's house, and which was nice, but it's like you don't have the family there, and it's like, went to church and it's ridiculous, like it would have been, I'd say at least 2,000 or 3,000 people there, just surrounding this small church. They had like a big video screen so you could see the papa and speakers, because not everybody could fit in the inside the church. And it was good, but it's like, okay, church finished, candles were lit, we went back to the house, we did the stuff all on the door and all that sort of stuff. But I couldn't go back to my house, I wanted to jump on the tube with the candili, So I think it's been hard for us to keep that side of things. Oh, we're staying Greek, don't get me wrong, because Spro just always keeps up to date with all the Greek music and all that sort of stuff, but in terms of associating with Greeks, we don't know that many. The only Greeks we know here are the ones we know from Canberra, So.
Why haven't you met any English Greeks?
What, English Greeks, you mean?
You're Australian Greek.
Well, I mean, we met a few here and there, but a lot of Cypriots in London. But I don't know, just because most of the time we go out is with our workmates, and all our workmates are, the majority of them are just Europeans. Like I work with a lot of French, Spanish. Spro works, a lot of Kosovars, Portuguese, all those sort of people. Not many Greeks at all, So it's not, we haven't, met anyone. So it's like we don't know where to go out of our way. Like we've gone to the Bouzouki a couple of times, but every time we've gone, it's been dead. So either we caught an off night, or it's like, I don't know. We tried, but it's just not. We're not going to go look for it. Let's put it that way. We're still enjoying ourselves. Just maybe we're enjoying this change and just hanging out with all these different cultured people, from different countries, and I don't know, we've become really good friends. A lot of, especially the people Spro works with, a lot of good people. They've come here with literally nothing. Especially the Kosovar boys. Come here after the war, lost their family, all that sort of thing, and they're great, really great guys. Portuguese boys. Just not trying to. We don't know where to go to find the Greeks. You know what I mean? So I don't know. No, I'm sure the longer we stay here, we will in time start going to Greek clubs and all that sort of thing. And just the other day, we bumped into a Greek restaurant down in Old Street called The Real Greek. And apparently that won an award for Best New Restaurant in Time Out magazine. So we'll probably go check that out soon. And that sort of stuff.
So do you feel Australian or Greek?
It's weird, actually, you say that. I probably feel more Australian, actually, because of how I speak, and everyone always makes fun of me at work. G'day, mate, how you going? And all that sort of shrimp on the barbie and all that sort of stuff. But then it's like, I'm planning the trip to Greece, and it's like we'll play like last night. Actually, today is 2 years that we left Australia. It's really odd. Today is 2 years to the day that me and Spro left Australia. So, and last night we put a bit of Greek music on, some old classics from, when we were back in Greece for summer of '98, and doing a bit of reminiscing. Had a glass of scotch, a couple of vodkas, whatever. And, it was good. It was good, but that's when you feel Greek, those sort of times. But the majority of the time, I'd say I feel Australian. But it's really odd when we're hanging out with like friends that are Portuguese or Spanish or whatever, and they start speaking their language. We feel left out, so we'll start speaking Greek on the side too. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you see them, they've got their own, I don't know, whatever they're talking about, and because we hear them speak their other language, we're like, wait a second, we can speak Greek, and we'll start speaking Greek. It's almost like, I don't know, it is a safe haven, you could say. It is, Anytime we speak Greek, most of the time is when someone who's next to us, we don't want them to understand what we're saying, so it's good to have that. It really is, So, at the same time, I think my Greek's improved a lot, especially going to Greece and all that. So when I'm over here, it's like one day I can speak Greek well and one day I can't. It's like, it depends who I'm talking to. Sometimes I feel really pressured and I can't put two words together. And then other days, just the Greek will just flow out. But like, I remember when I was in Greece and you're there for, you know, after you've been there for 2 weeks or so, it just starts rolling off the tongue, you know, and your vocabulary gets a lot bigger, you know, whereas most, I think, Greek Australians, majority of them just know the basics to get by, you know, not, you know, complicated, difficult words, you know. But when you go to Greece, you start learning, you know, I didn't know what zapon was or manitari or things like that when we go to the restaurants, you know, and order food. I just didn't know what those things were called, you know. And you slowly pick it up and you remember it and, you know, and you appreciate it. You go, well, Greece improved, you know. And someone turned around and go, crikey. Like my dad was freaking out when I used to speak Greek to him on the phone all the time. And even now I speak Greek to my dad a lot on the phone, you know. And I think he sort of, he really did freak out the first time, you know, so.
So what do you miss most?
Like I said before. Of course I miss mum and dad and the family the most. I don't miss the surroundings at all. I don't miss Canberra, you could say, all I miss is the people. You know? But I think it's more just, like I said, the laid-back lifestyle, jumping in the car on a Sunday and just driving around with the boys and relaxing, sitting in a cafe all day and doing nothing, you know. You don't do that here. All they do here is go out for their pints. All they like is their beer over here, so.
You do that? Pints?
Sorry, do I? Sometimes.
Yes,
Yamas, cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Can I get some black pepper, please? The dilemma of study. I took the long route to get into uni. Did TAFE first, which I absolutely hated. Got into uni finally. Did, I would say I was about halfway through my first semester in engineering, and I realised I hated it. I just couldn't do it. You know, I was always good at maths. Most Greeks are, aren't they? But I just thought, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. So transferred over to media straight away. I started doing media units even before my transfer. I did that for just a year and a half. I did media for, and which I loved, absolutely loved, because I've always wanted to get into radio as well, which I hope one day might happen in here. Actually, in the store we have a radio booth. It's like a DJ for the store, and I've been doing that quite often. It's a lot of fun. So it's like in-house radio, in-house DJ, you could say. But yeah, I enjoy that a lot. And had to leave that. I was like, the boys said, okay, we're going overseas, do you want to come or not? And unfortunately I was at the stage where I hadn't finished, as they all had. But I thought, that trip that we did in '98 around Europe was supposed to be me, Spiro Panagakis, Spiro Tsiros, Theo Drakakis, who lives with us now, Terry, anyway, quite a few boys. And about 2 or 3 of them had to drop out because they had finished their degrees and had found full-time jobs. And they can't give up a great full-time job they've just gotten straight out of uni to go on a holiday, you know. It's just too much, meant too much for them to give up that job. And most of the time, you're so picky when you first get into uni and you get your job, that when you get it, you're happy, you don't want to lose it, you know. So they could not come over because of that. And I thought, no, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to finish my degree and then I'm ready to go overseas and then this dream job lands in my lap and then I don't want to go and then I'll never ever go. So I said, it's either I go now or I'll never go. So unfortunately, partying with the boys was more attractive than studying. And at the same time, I was getting frustrated, I think, with Canberra and life and, you know, like I was just in that stage, like I said before, where most people just don't know what you want to do. And I was enjoying media. I thought, all right, we'll just see what's out there. I said I always wanted to come over to London because I knew the dance scene was so big over here. And just suss it out, you know. And I thought, because I'd done so much DJing in Australia, I thought I'd just come over here and they'd, take my pick, you know what I mean? But, there's a lot of competition over here. You got to make contacts again, start all over again. So it's not a dilemma because, I've deferred uni. I can always go back and finish that. I've deferred it probably. You got 10 years to finish a degree, so if all else fails here, I can go back and finish the degree. I've got like a year and a half left on that, 2 years. So to me, it's not such a dilemma. It's still Mum and Dad were saying, it's good to have the kharti behind you as a backup. Have that kharti, that degree. And I'm like, okay, that'd be nice, but I've got it there. It's just not finished. So if I want to finish it, I'll finish it. If I need to, but I'm hoping I won't have to. Because I think really in this industry you don't need it. I mean, what they think of it. At first they were totally against it, but you know they've come around. You know they know I've done well over here, so they at first was like John, hurry up, come home, you bloody idiot, and all that sort of stuff. But you know it's like now they're like, Mum's just like, all right, how much do you earn? That's all she cares about. And Dad's attitude's gone from, you know, John, you should finish your degree and all that sort of stuff to, you know, when they heard about the promotion, it's like, so, John, it's funny, he goes, so this means that you stay in London for at least another 2 or 3 years, huh? And he was like, oh, good job, you must stay. And I was like, I freaked out. I just never thought my dad would actually accept what I was doing and sort of say, oh, you know. And I think when I went back home and Dad realised, you know, what a big business I was working in, how much I'd learnt, and I think he started respecting what I'd done, you know. I think they're proud of us, you know. I think they're very proud of, you know, us. I mean, I'm sure our parents, for all of us, like Spro's parents, whatever, very proud. Like they can say, oh, my son's in London, blah, 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 you know. You know, it's a big deal, and, you know, they don't like me. They didn't like me initially taking this step, but I think now they are very proud of me, you know. Even though they probably don't openly say it, it's just the way they talk to me now that I know they're proud of me, so, you know. So that's it, I suppose, but I don't know. Oh, it's fine. It's not a dilemma, and nothing's a dilemma. Live every day, that's it.
Okay, thanks Martina guys.
Well, it just would have always been in the back of my mind. What if, or I don't know. The question's answered now. So if I never did it, I just would have, I don't know, like you said, I just would have always said, what if I did that? What if I don't know. I've done it now, so it's no looking back. It's just I've done it and no regrets, and just move on. Look forward to tomorrow. That's it. Yeah.
Work's normally here in London. I'll follow you up.
Okay. Thanks, Manuel. Thanks. It's been good. What time is it? I'm going to be late. For what time is it? I'm going to get going.
26 minutes past.
26 minutes past. So we better pay.
So most people
No, I just think most people in Canberra, when our generation grew up with parents that, you know, struggled to establish themselves, and they did it well, and we see that, appreciate that, and we're just natural hard workers, I think. And that's why most of us, when we make these big moves, we do well, because when we come over here and we work our butts off. We don't come over here and go out every night and get pissed, and you know, we're focused, and
And you started working at that age in the shop?
yeah, I started working in the shop when I was about in year 7, you know. I remember I used to go almost every day after school, do my homework in the back office, and then go out and help Dad, you know. And I just think it's like I can't go home till the job's done, you know, every day. So it's like, I think that's why.
In a way, that's better preparation than university, isn't it?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know, sometimes uni I think is just too much theory and not enough practical, you know. That's why the engineering degrees they're quite good, because there is a lot of practical, you know, a lot of theory. It's 50-50, but you've got so many degrees where they're just paper degrees, aren't they? And it just never interested me to do a paper job for the rest of my life. I don't know. I don't know, I'd say I just ask for the bill. But I just like a job where you've got your own creative thought involved. You know, it's like an accountant. This is how it's done, and this is how you have to do it, and that's it, black and white. Have the bill, please. And I just I can't do that for the rest of my life, you know. I can't sit in a job and go every day, do my job, and maybe there is creative work involved in that I just don't know about because I haven't done it, but to me, things like law, accounting, doctors, whatever, it's all clear cut. This is how it's done, and you know, that's it. That's why I like the art world, you know, creativity, music, design, all that sort of stuff, you know. You use your head more, and you know, you decide to do something and so you think it's better, then from that point forward you can do it like that. You don't have to stick to the old way. And I just think in this sort of industry, that's what it's all about. that's how you move forward, by having creative thinking and all that sort of thing. So, whereas other jobs don't. But I'm not bagging those people. If they're happy doing that, that's fine. Will I eventually? Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
So you see yourself as a business person?
Oh yeah. I'm just learning, you know.
As a business person, as against an artist.
Bit of both. Yeah, bit of both. But I mean, working become like this, you see what structure works and what you need to make, you know, to get a business to work. So I mean, if I can learn the ins and outs of a big company like that, why it works, then I'm fine. And then just get my own ideas involved, and then I'm laughing, you could say. But I don't know. Who knows? Don't know. Don't know. It's a lot of politics. And yes, but no. One thing I learned, I can only get into business with people I trust. You know? The only people I probably get into business with right at this point in my life would be my family, maybe Spiro, Theo, people like that. You know, like some of my best friends. You can't just, you know, just start something from nothing. Someone you don't know anything about. They might have an amazing background, amazing credentials, but at the end of the day, you don't know what they've done and where they've been and who they've ripped off, or you know. So I'd rather try to do it by myself at first, and then if I need help, go to those sort of people. But I don't think I'd ever. I don't know. To me, I think to succeed in business, you've got to be able to do every aspect in your business. You can't. If you need to get somebody to do a whole aspect of your business that you don't know anything about, then you shouldn't get into that business at all. You should only get involved into some sort of a business that you know everything about, and that's when you'll succeed. If you do something you know half of it, you won't. Unless you do it with maybe your family members and your really good friends, you know, people that are like, you know, you trust with your life, you know. But other than that, I'd rather do it on my own first, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so where will you be in 5 years?
Don't know. Don't know.
New York?
Don't know. Can't answer that question. I don't know where I'm going to be in 6 months' time. I could be back in Canberra, working at the milk bar, you know, crying every day. You don't know. You just don't know.
What's the date today?
1 second. I'll put it. Excuse me. I'll just give you a card straight away. I'm going to rush off. Date today is the 3rd of July. Is it on my card here? 2000. Thank you. John Casimadis. John Casimadis. I am now 25 years old. Yeah, quarter of a century. I got to admit, my birthday last year was one of the few birthdays I can remember where I was actually smiling all day. I don't know, it felt really good. It felt probably because I'd had, you know, a real productive year, and I don't know, I felt like I'd achieved something. Whereas most other years I've been a bum, just hanging out, having coffee every day and doing nothing, you know. So it's just a good feeling that to get somewhere in a town like this. Yeah.
So 2 years ago you were a bum doing nothing.
Lazy student, hanging out in Canberra. Don't get me wrong, I miss it, I loved it, but I don't know, it's been good. Yeah, definitely. No looking back. Not looking back at all. Well, I try anyway. I try. So, I don't know. I think people in Canberra just limit themselves too much.
Our credit machine is buggered, so we're doing this. If I can just have you sign the bill. Okay, thank you. Cheers.
I've got to run. Okay, no problem. See you, Manuel. I'll catch up later in the week. No problem.
So how many orders you got?
Too many.
How many?
Should I want a big group coming? They think it's their home.
How are you going to cope with that?
Sorry?
How are you going to cope with that?
Okay, but I don't know if my father would.
You like the pressure, huh?
Sorry?
You like the pressure?
Oh yeah, being the star of a documentary plus working in this place at the same time.
What do you think of the place?
Nice.
What do you think of the ice cream?
Nice.
Nice? What do you think? Good, an apple, very good.
Indeed.
Yeah. How come you not like your sister?
Army's arm.
No.
I had a gut.
You still doing the ads for Skyfire, man?
No.
No?
No, unfortunately.
How about you?
You're a bit slow today.
You will, I'm just my shirt.
Just yourself.
Years off today. And the stock and storage. John just come in to help me.
He's got a few orders, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. How much I can see now, I have to help. Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming, sorry. Next two hot chocolates, yeah? Two hot chocolates.
I've got a big table outside, I'm sorry.
You need help here?
Yeah, can you give me a nice chocolate, please?
How could you guys come from the same seed? There's a combination here that's not quite right.
What are you saying? I'm adopted, maybe.
You're getting taller and taller.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
You can zoom in, you set up. You look good. There's father and son.
Same goes.
You're busy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, let's put toast sandwich today, or the coffees, or hot chocolates.
Yeah, cappuccinos, I'm taking them out.
Okay, so just checking, sorry.
Any service too, or?
Just give me 5 lemonades from the fridge. 5 small cans.
5 small cans.
So how many years you've been doing it like this? How many displays have you done?
This year, 29.
29 displays.
29 years.
And how does this compare with the other displays?
It's not bad. I'm not selling this like used to. I have good quality.
So the displays are not as good, or?
No, it's good display outside. The variety is okay, but can't sell much like 10 years ago.
So the quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
This is
the business start now, people not spend like used to, and big stores, and still for milk bar. This is the only milk bar left in Canberra to sell so many.
Κοίταξε τον χαρά του. Σταμάτα! Ας τους άσχημους απ' έξω, μην λερώνεις τη φωτογραφία. Don't litter the photo.
what are we going to tell the old man?
Γιάννη, κοίτα, και το έκανες στο Λόντον, σε κάθε κύριο δεν σου αρέσει.
Cheese roll, thanks.